dog against the likes of Invictus Game.
Well, if anyone doesn't know who Ike's is, Vici Gaming last year played a majority of the split and was okay, had some good moments, but inconsistencies were definitely there. We'll see how he is under the new leadership of Coma running into Game 3 and see the bans across your board.
So either Varus or Aphelios is going to be left open here by Vici, so I'm curious. It is going to be the Varus ban, but either way, lock in straight off the bat. LoKen loves the Aphelios, and he's going to be so happy to get his hands on that.
Yeah. I mean, second most played champion. I would say that at this point, iBoy, I mean, he doesn't have his Callista. He's not really an Ezreal player.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we just go back towards Senna here. But the LeBlanc has been left open. Zeka's, like, I love Zeka's LeBlanc. I think he has looked so damn strong on this, and it makes it very difficult for you to have a potent mid laner, but Syndra is on the cards.
Yeah, I was going to say, Yagao's best champion alongside the Zoe. Also note the LeBlanc, but his Syndra has been devastating in the past, so this raises a very worthwhile question. Is it worth it for Yagao?
I would say yes. I think, yeah, you go for it. The only thing I'd be worried about is you've got really strong setup here in that mid lane play. If you want to go with Ikes and the Nidalee, you go with the stun from the LeBlanc, the root into a spear, into a whole heck of damage. But we'll have to see what they decide to go for, as Kanavi has the opportunity if he wants to go towards the Nidalee. But I think, again, when you've locked in this Aphelios against an Ashe, you've got a bot lane that you're not going to be able to win out on. You know you've got a super strong mid lane matchup here for Zeke as well, so he can control that mid lane matchup. I think going towards the Nidalee here, where you don't have a lane that allows you to invade and get aggressive, may not be the best option.
Giving it over. Yagao doesn't want to play Syndra. Instead, opts into the TF third time in a row. We were criticizing the TF a bit. It didn't seem that impactful.
It's also, it feels like JDG are going, oh, well, Vici are bad at map plays, therefore we can win through this Twisted Fate. But Vici have done a really good job of pressing against this Twisted Fate. But also, Yagao has not been making good map plays. So, I don't know. Maybe in game number 3 this all turns around. But I'm very much on the fence about this Twisted Fate pick right now.
Well, you've got Nidalee just looked over completely. Now the ban's coming through. I wouldn't be surprised if Vici... No, Graves instead. Happy to leave that one over. They've already got the Trundle.
Yeah, and I mean, we just talked about it already, right? The Nidalee, you probably won't. Well, Kanavi can go towards it, but hasn't had the biggest of impacts. And now when we look at the jungle pool that Kanavi had play on, Lee Sin gone, Graves gone, Kindred gone. I mean, the Jarvan is still there. Yeah, I mean, Kayn and Rek'Sai are the only other ones, but the Rek'Sai doesn't do too much against the Trundle. We've seen how often Trundle can actually cancel the pillars out as Rek'Sai. And I mean, Jarvan potentially, but it doesn't really help you in what you're trying to set up here. So I'm curious to see what Kanavi does go for here.
Well, it starts with N, and it's the champion we've been saying for 3 games straight. We'll see. Braum's going to be looked at by Hung. Hung has been that Nautilus player. He's got an Ashe, Ice Ice Baby returns.
I was going to say there's an argument for taking the Ornn here just to deny that away from JDG to a certain extent, because you do have, obviously, the Aphelios, which works super well with it. You've got great engage, and then the side lane pressure into pick potential that can come through from Yagao. But looks like they're not going to prioritize. Instead, we're going to get that Wukong for Zoom. This will be the 4th time that he's picked it up this split, and it looks like we might see the Nidalee. So at least if Wukong is able to control that top side of the map, you do have a lane, or at least a side of the map, that Kanavi can look to invade and get aggressive on. But I want to see what Vici are opting here for Cube.
Cube's cannon has been respect banned since game 2. No Renekton. No Volleybet. Is Mordekaiser how he wants to end this series?
I mean, it does well into the Wukong matchup, but you're lacking somewhat engaged when it comes to Vici. I suppose you can rely on like chains and that enchanted crystal arrow to be enough of a setup. And when you've got Wukong, you've got the Twisted Fate and this Thresh who are trying to dive in on you, at least the Mordekaiser will be enabled to a certain extent. But I still think even with the Wukong there, going towards something like an Ornn and just guaranteeing this really strong team fight and just disabling LoKen to a certain extent, because when you've got an Ornn who can shove in these, or use that ultimate to disrupt this Aphelios in the team fights could have worked super well, but it does at least give them a strong side lane presence with Cube and also Zeka who can push against Yagao.
I want early skirmishing again. Game 2 was a lot of fun.
We're going to get it.
It feels like we're set to get it. LeBlanc let through for the first time here in this draft. Zeka's LeBlanc. Let's have a look. 5 games. 5 games played. Yagao's second most played as well is the LeBlanc. Both these mid laners actually well known for it. And Zeka's impressed us so far in this series. Unmeasurably. Yagao needs to step up to the plate with his TF. While, if you look at the other solo lanes, Zoom versus Cube, both of them had MVPs. MVP of Game 1 was Cube on his cannon. Game 2 was Zoom on his Ornn. While it feels like in the jungle matchup, I really want to say, nothing against Ikes. I just think LoKen versus Kanavi felt fair to end this series. But they've opted in for Ikes in Game 3. He's on Trundle. He wants to bring this to its knees. And Vici's been such a challenge for JDG. The spring champions maybe brought to their knees by Vici Gaming. The 4-win streak here for Vici. The 6-win streak for JDG. 7-2 versus 5-3. JDG versus Vici, Game 3. Let's drive into it as we enter Summoner's Rift. Oh yeah, show me. What's up there? What's up there? Turn around. Where are we? Oh. Here we are. What is that noise? What?
So, no matter what happens in this game, I think we can definitely say that Vici has fought back well. The cuts are there. JDG are definitely bleeding. There is no doubt about it. And this is a Vici that we now have to begin looking at as a real contender for those playoff spots, because their games here today have been absolutely incredible. And to be honest, I'm not sure if Vici aren't going to be able to run away with this in the early stages of the game. Like, when I look towards Ikes and Zeka, I see a lot of setup in this mid lane towards Yagao, where a Trundle pillar into the stun from Zeka can be nights out for Yagao. And even if you get Kanavi trying to match that 2v2, the burst damage onto Yagao before he goes towards like the Rod of Ages might just be way too high for this Twisted Fate to do.
As we've already seen in this series, super easy to burn the flash with a simple pillar. You know, Yagao has to be looking at his positioning all the time. Zeka with the trade here, gold card in response, and electrocute sends it right back. We begin.
So, both junglers now starting on opposite sides of the map. So, Kanavi trying to go from Krugs, he will start going towards that top side of the map then, and should be just about the time that Zoom manages to bounce this wave on that upper portion of the map. And actually, as I say that, Kanavi may be looking for an invade here.
Level 1 on both the bottom laners. Kanavi to land the spear, that's what he needs. iBoy behind the wave, spotted out. Javelin toss goes in anyway. Bit of damage onto iBoy will help the lane. But a good hawk shot from iBoy.
And it wasn't even intentional from iBoy. That was just the, okay, let's try and figure out where Kanavi is. Let Ikes figure out how he wants to approach his new jungle route. And hey, spotting out Kanavi now makes that a lot easier. And actually, Zeka shoved in mid. Ikes is getting brave in this jungle.
Confidence comes through. Level 3 versus level 2. The pillar would put Kanavi against the wall as he walks back in for the trade. Red buff versus red buff. Yagao running in as well. The chain sets on up. And a good little trade here from Zeka. Well, this is getting real personal.
Definitely is, but I mean, this is what we wanted to see from Ikes, is contesting Kanavi, and he's playing very well around that pressure from Zeke in the mid. Might even have, actually, as Kanavi just goes for a now transitional move through the mid lane towards that top side, how Ikes is now going to be able to take this bottom lane scuttle, but he's already cleared his top side camps, which means Kanavi is caught completely unaware of how Ikes has gone through this jungle.
We'll just go back to Scuttle Crab and trade this one off. Ikes invade himself, but look how many resources he has in his own bottom side jungle.
And that's the thing. Ikes is actually up a camp right now. He'll start to clear the Braum. He can move towards Wolves and actually contest on this top side, because Cube is slowly going to start pushing out on this top side of the map. So if we get an invade, as we're seeing actually right now from Ikes, there was a potential here for, invade from Kanavi. There was a potential here for Ikes to...
I'm sorry.
yeah, that was a little bit funny. But for Cube to help out Ikes, but actually Ike's not going to be fast enough getting first.
When you miss a stationary target as Nidalee, sometimes you're going to get laughed at, you know? Unfortunate. Well, topside invade. They know Kanavi's there. Pings were getting spammed.
Yeah, they saw that Kanavi didn't have a blue buff, and off of, I guess Yagao stole the blue buff? Must have been.
No, just the skin.
Oh, is it the skin? Okay. But either way, yeah, Kanavi didn't have a blue buff when he went for that play on the bottom side, and that means that then when they spotted it, cool, we know that Kanavi has to be on top, so you need to play super safe Cube, and he's done a good job of avoiding any of that pressure. And it's just unfortunate that he's going to need some pressure here from Ikes to shove that wave in to get it to bounce back.
Well, I saw there from the mouth. Nice little grab at him. What are we looking at now, lanes? CS lead building by Zeka. We've been praising this guy all series long. This is what I love about best of 3 is, and I'm going to be critical here for a moment. Chat, you can, send it right back. That's fine. Let me tell you something. Best of 3 gives you a dynamic of a player and their champion pool. Which is why this series, what have we seen out of Zeka? Game 1 was what? Galio? Game 2, Set. And then this one, LeBlanc. A very different dynamic. He's going to be on playmaking mid laner. This has been one of his best choices. So we get to see the layers of Zeka, one of the newest mid laners in the LPL.
And that's what I love about him as well, is look, if you look at his champion build, he's played LeBlanc, Galio, Zoe, Set, but also the Akali and the Azir in there as well. Like, he's comfortable playing multiple different styles, and even Spring, he played a lot of that Azir, so I can't wait to see more of this guy and what he can bring to the table for Vici.
A lot of promise, as Ikes was spotted out starting off this Cloud Dragon. Both top laners use their TP, so they won't be able to join, but Cube doesn't have Death Realm. Cyclone is available for Zoom, and with the level advantage, Cube doesn't care. He's just hit 6 himself. Zoom has nothing. He's in the Death Realm, and what was meant to be the best top laner is getting close to getting solo killed. Cube forces his flash and stands tall.
So well played by Cube, and that's the power of an AP top laner into this Wukong. Usually, if that's an AD one, you're not going to be able to turn it back. Stone Skin comes in, Health Regen comes in, but Cube, because he's got Mordekaiser, he's gone for that early arm guard as well. He can turn that play right back around.
Yeah, the Zeka's arm guard made a difference there with the trade. And after it was all said and done, Zoom with no summoners, Cube still with his flash. LoKen, meanwhile, bottom side, almost getting that turret plate. Should be able to approach the wave now with all the shurikens. Pick up the first bit of turret plating of the game.
So the problem here for Vici is that Ikes is trying to play through bottom side, trying to go for this dragon, and actually trying to do it right as LoKen and LvMao are about to back. But because Yagao has the TP...
Hang on him, drinking water. Hung has to run away with double summoner. Kanavi sends out the spear, blocked nicely as Yagao. Gold card into the Braum with a wall. Hung, one more hit and first blood. Over to JDG with the javelin toss not connecting onto iBoy. There's nothing Vici can do.
And right as I'm explaining it, the problem happens. Yagao can join in super easily into this bottom side play, and it's a lot more difficult for Vici to try and play around it, but Hung didn't help the issue by going that far forward. You're just overemphasizing how easy it is for Yagao to get into this bottom side.
Dragon's going to be netted because of it as well. Kanavi with a bit of a lead in this jungle, and the first blood going to the mid laner, so that CS discrepancy evened out a bit by Yagao getting that kill.
It's Vici now needing to figure out, okay, well, how do we try and exploit our map more so then we can actually try and make these plays happen? You've got the Rift Herald that's about to spawn, but unfortunately we haven't seen the plays that we were hoping from Ikes, like pressure towards that mid lane. He actually hasn't been able to get in towards bot at all. Cube is doing a good job of controlling this top lane matchup though, which is a big thumbs up for Vici. But other than that, JDG are definitely the ones that are in control.
JDG, the team with 600 gold in their back pocket. 700 after that play. Zoom going in with the Cyclone yet again. Cube does have the Death Realm though. He's pulled Zoom in. Second Cyclone to come through. Shield is available. Into the brush. Zoom will get Death Grasp back. Cube just wants this kill before he gets on out. Slams him down, but locked on down by Yagao. He's out though. Cube gets the solo kill and Zeka helps. As now with the rest of the trade, Hung walks into no man's land, dodges the poke and Jetacross arrow, gets the slow iBoy. Thank you, Father, says Hung.
Hung is mispositioning so often though now, it's really becoming an issue because He just got caught out there, whereas that should have been a play that Vici can play towards. You have the rest of Vici come up. If Hung takes a safer route, but then you can collapse onto that top lane play. You got this gorgeous front-to-back fight that is really difficult for JDG to deal with without Zoom there. But with Hung getting caught out, he's got to go back to base, and JDG get another objective for themselves.
They're really grouping up nicely, and now Cube in a bit of a pickle. He's walked back to lane, not respecting that the Herald being taken down means danger. The spear does connect, and Cube drops. Ike's a bit late, wants to take LvMao and flashes away. He burns his own. But JDG grouping up, and Vici are walking into the trap. Zeka in with a double distortion just to save a bit of this turret plating.
This is so sloppy from Vici after what was 2 spectacular early games from them. They're not able to get very much at all in this stage. And unfortunately, twice now it's been Hung that's been caught out. And now Vici are scrambling to try and get themselves back in shape. But this was actually very reminiscent of what happened at the end of game number 2, where one mistake comes through and suddenly the cracks from Vici are exposed massively.
JDG's team's going to expose it. They get the props because grouping up, really pushing the tempo. That's what JDG has set the ball rolling here in game 3. We're almost towards those first items because of it. And a 1k gold lead at 10 minutes in the game. And it's a very good sign that JDG are not lifeless.
Yeah. Kanavi did get spot on that ward at the back of red, so Ike's has already pinged on this bottom side. They expect that this play is going to come through with Rift Herald, so you will see multiple members from Vici start to group around this bot side, but it will end up being just a 3v3, and I'm not really sure if Ike's is going to be able to do too much here to help iBoy.
Okay, Graviton Moonlight Vigil. iBoy cleanses. Hung survives, but blocks it with the door. The hook comes in. Hung drops the ulti here onto 4 people. Ike's returns, but Zeka's coming in for the flank. LoKen super low, in with the distortion, flashed away, Gravitum down, and LoKen survives. Now that he's locked on down, the javelin toss at max range, and LoKen outplays yet again.
And JDG are so much smarter when it comes to these plays, and now Kanavi, he's got flash!
iBoy! He flashes away himself, Kanavi. Has Cougar gone too far? Winter's Bite pokes him down, turret goes down, Kanavi survives. Next charge is coming in, and they're staying grouped as 4.
They're just going to shove in to guarantee that charge. They won't be able to get this turret, I imagine. Yeah, they're all going to back away. And look, I mean, JDG, they're now 2,500 gold ahead.
This has run out of control. And what more can you say than JDG just exploiting? While we can criticize Vici for probably their worst early game in the series, JDG punish mistakes. This is what we saw a lot in spring. One misstep and it spirals out of control. These constant skirmishes that come through. And much like the first one towards topside this time, LoKen surviving, forcing everything out of the mid laner. And then JDG get the turret anyway. Almost a 3k gold lead at 12 minutes in the game. VG looking for windows, avenues to return this back to an even state at the very least.
It's plays like that bottom lane one, though, why we're praising LoKen at the moment.
Yep.
Because being able to get that Infernum and then into the Gravitum was what locked down Zeka for just long enough that you could get that follow-up and that beautiful spear from Kanavi. And having the Twitch reactions to avoid the flash in that was already coming from Zeka, plus make that play, I mean, it's why LoKen is considered one of the top 80 carries in the LPL right now.
He's sitting towards the Infinity Edge. Vici is starting this Dragon Dagger. I think Kanavi wants it.
Well, they've got a lot of angles of attack here from JDG. Yagao is in that bottom side. Dragon does go over. Can they get more, though, for JDG?
Now setting up for the hook. Close as Gold Card goes into Hung. Zeka over the wall, misses. Versus 4. And
TP.
zooms in. Triple Cyclone. And Vici are not getting out of this one. Low health bars. 2 dead.
I mean,
again.
Zeka's trying, but JDG are so damn clean.
Yagao just BM to his face.
I mean, wouldn't you? You just have the perfect TP ward for Zoom. He collapses in on Vici. Like, yeah, you got a Mountain Dragon. Pats on the back. You did a good job, Vici, but JDG, they get the kills. They're getting towers. They're getting everything that they want in this game.
The hype for Vici very quickly dying down. And the hype for JDG getting built up why they have this win streak is LvMao close. Hook.
Kanavi shows them how it's done.
Ah, yes. We'll watch it again. As you said, deep ward.
Like, perfect. There's, like, the Nidalee trap and also the ward there for him to go to, and it's so easy for Zoom. They're sitting ducks. They've nowhere to go. No flashes, no anything, and, I mean, perfect play.
That's all you can say. 5K gold lead. A minute and a half ago, it was 3.
And that's the thing. Once you give JDG a lead, they will not let up.
Holy moly.
That's why we are praising Vici so much in game number 1 and game number 2. Because it is not an easy task to stay away from JDG when they smell blood in the water. But they did just that. Unfortunately, in game number 3, there's just too much blood because it's all over Summoner's Rift.
Destiny was just used by Yagao to get to this bottom lane. Clears out the wave, adds pressure. You can see pings from Vici now that it's down. Spamming towards the top side. They want to pick. And if Vici are going to get back in this game, they need to use that pick potential. The LeBlanc, the Ashe, the Braum, the Trundle, whatever. Find something, right?
Anything at the moment. There is always the pick potential there. But it is getting smaller and smaller as an option when you look at that gold lead that JDG are starting to put up. But when we get to team fights, look, iBoy hasn't actually completed the Blade of the Ruin King now. Would have loved to have that for this impending fight at the Rift Herald. You do have Luden's Echo onto Zeka, so he's quite strong, and if he can get onto LoKen, can just burst him out, or even Kanavi to a certain extent, although the Rod of Ages will make that a bit tougher. Vici, however, are going to start up this Rift Herald. Looks like JDG may not want to contest with no teleport available for Yagao or that Destiny.
You know what? Maybe they want the pick instead. Hung. Gonna get the exhaust down onto LoKen. And Dagda, this is becoming more than a one-off for Hung.
I mean, he's only gone down once, but it's definitely been a couple of catches now.
The whole series. I mean, game 2.
I was going to say, I mean, he's died once here, but it has been a very big issue now where he has been hooked, burnt, like, well, Summoner Spell there, he's burnt Summoner Spells in bottom lane. That play in the last game as well, which really broke up the game for JDG. Hung just needs to take it a little bit slower. Even on the Braum, yes, you've got some tankiness and escape tools, but you do not need to be face checking or positioning in the manner that he is.
It's crazy because he got best of the Rift this week.
He's gone to his head.
Week, yeah,
went straight to his head.
I'm a good support, and I agree that he is, but this series, one of the weak links of Vici. And this game particularly, for Vici, they need to be solid. Again, take an inch, they'll take a mile. That's JDG. Zeka's sitting in the side lane now, and you can see the whole of Vici just want this pace to slow down. They want some items on the board.
It's going to be hard for them to try and do so, though, because a minute until that Infernal Dragon, JDG are going to love picking up a bunch of these, because especially when you got the likes of Kanavi, who's flinging spears all over the place, his ability to utilize those Infernal Souls is sky high, and our Infernal Dragons, and if he gets Infernal Soul, well, holy mother of God, they take on a whole new level.
Oh, yeah. An Infernal Soul. But granted, if Vici get an Infernal Soul, that's their window back in. That window, though, it's like, where is it? You're in Australia, and you see a picture of a window in France. That's how far away it is. I couldn't think of anything specific.
It's a window that you have it there, but you know it's a little bit stuck. You can't quite get it to push open. It's got a little bit of rust on it, and you're like, maybe if I wiggle it or put a bit of oil on it, it might work.
And there's fresh bread outside the front. You can smell it.
What?
There's fresh bread outside the window.
We're going with
makes you want it more. You know?
A few croissants.
Nice. All right. I didn't need it to be French, but okay. Herald's going to be put down mid. Yagao. Perfect timing. Red card doesn't even matter. And now Vici, like, what do we have? Enchantress Arrow is down there. Herald did nothing.
I mean, it's a big swing and a miss from Vici. They tried to make that play, but unfortunately not quite able to do so as Yagao fancy fingers on that stopwatch. And now JDG, well, LoKen's just going to solo out, potentially, this Dragon. I mean, everyone else in JDG is more concerned with getting vision and getting some control of this mid lane, but I don't disagree with it. JDG can do what they want right now.
He does so quick anyway. He said he gets nerfed in 10.15.
Yes. I haven't read them yet, but I saw the Twitter stuff.
I've been told we're most likely moving to the patch very soon. As Yagao on a journey, where's he going? Hey, just behind him. Ike's going to be caught out and walks away. Okay. but you've burnt down a jungler.
And burnt your destiny. So no flash, or sorry, no teleport, no destiny for the moment for Yagao, which may open up a brief window for Vici to try and make some plays happen where they're not worried about a bunch of other folk from JDG showing up. But with the way the waves are positioned, it's going to be super difficult. Maybe Zeka and Ike's can make a play towards topside as Zeka makes it back into lane, but even then you can see Yagao is backing away. So JDG playing this safe and knowing that, look, destiny's gone, but there's no objectives up for the moment. It's not like Vici are going to suddenly burst down Baron. There's no Infernal Dragon. Just take it easy. See if the play works. If it doesn't, no skin off our backs.
And you know what? If a fight does come up, Alune has sent the Infernum to Aphelios from the offshore facility. So that is now available. And LoKen at level 11 now as well. Oh, iBoy.
Does this offshore facility get fancier with the more gold that Aphelios gets? Like, can he buy decorations?
I mean, that's where it all comes from. Uh-oh, Zeka needs to run away, but Kanavi has so much chase. The clone blocks the spear. Really nice movement, but you can see Kanavi on a tear this game.
Yeah, he has finally got control of the jungle matchup, and he is making full use of that. And to be honest, I can't blame Ikes for this. This is not an Ikes issue. This was more so to do with the positioning of Hung and stuff like that early meant that Kanavi got a couple of kills, was able to get control, and it is rather unfortunate that for this last game, after how good of a series we got in Game 1 and Game 2, a couple of missteps just lead to JDG running away.
And I mean, Kanavi free to do stuff like this. The threat onto Ikes, the level difference, the CS difference in jungle. Kanavi up 55.
And 2 levels as well.
I mean, it just tells the story of this final game. Close but no cigar. Does Graves really still not have a cigar?
No, he doesn't. Really?
Interesting. Hang on. Zoom time. Destiny used. And Cube, even in the Death Realm, he's dead. Zoom just needs to hit him a couple more times. Death Grasp nicely dodged. And that's the solo kill. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. Vici lose their member. They're moving towards Baron. Do or die.
I think it's going to be the latter if they try and start this up. So JDG are free to keep pushing on this bottom lane. If they can just stop backs here, well, Zoom gets through this tower. He can get through that next tower very handily as well. So right now, with Vici very much positioned in this mid lane, Zoom can keep applying pressure elsewhere.
At least to be an optimist, Vici trait.
Yeah, they are trying to. So basically the call here from Vici is, look, we're not able to fight.
That's not a trade.
We can't go for these aggressive plays because Yagao is coming in on top of us. Kanavi's too big. Zoom's potential gauge is sky high as well. So we're going to have Zeka instead, while they're making these pick plays, try and answer for structures and get some gold into Zeka's pocket. Maybe then, when we get towards, the 24, 25-minute mark, Zeka can try and make these big plays, like picks onto LoKen, picks onto Yagao or Kanavi if they take a step too far, but trying to accelerate Zeka to a point where he can do that is pretty lackluster, seeing as, you got a pretty tanky Kanavi. He's even going towards the Athenes and Holy Grail, which means that he's got the inbuilt magic resist. And as well, LoKen is going to be so well protected by the rest of the team and the heals coming from Kanavi that bursting him is going to be really hard.
Big job ahead of him. Hung and Ike, they want that pick onto LoKen, but they will not find it. Dragging up in 50 seconds. And you know what? Any other game, I'd start saying, oh, this feels pretty much over. And in a way, it really does. However, what we've seen out of this series so far is one moment decides the fate of the game. So, let's see. Dragon to be started, and Vici do not want this.
I mean, it's an 8,000 gold lead for JDG. No vision control for Vici. They're being shoved right the way in. It's not looking very easy for them to try and have a way in, but Zeka trying to position off to a side. Vici trying to move in towards this river as JDG most certainly have control of this.
If they get with the arrow, Zeka didn't even do damage to LvMao. The Chaos though, as Death Grasp close. Yagao up with the gold card. Janikos arrow does hit the Twisted Fate. The binding goes down. Yagao locked into the back line. Bit of damage done, but Hung gets low. iBoy at half health. Cube pulls Death Realm into Yagao. Flashes forward while Hung dies on the other end. And Yagao's just out of there. Cube comes out himself and dies. Vici lose 2. And that might just be the Baron.
That is definitely going to be the Baron. And as he said, look, there's no damage really coming out from Vici. Zeka is trying to go for the Void Staff, but he doesn't have any gold to try and funnel into that. iBoy as well, he's not anywhere near as strong as LoKen right now. And okay, Vici, you do get this Dragon, it'll put you at 2, but Baron is in the hands of JDG.
It certainly is. So is that 10k gold lead at 24 minutes in. JDG looks like they're back, at the very least, here in this series.
Yeah, welcome to the series, JDG.
Yeah. But even in the stand, they were already 7-2. They're going to match with V5, although they're probably not going to Worlds like V5 are. At least this is the start.
They'll probably go to Worlds. We have 4 seeds,
oh,
but they won't
true.
win
4th
Worlds.
seed,
Like
V5 will be 2nd seed or 1st. You know, sorry. Yeah.
But either way, look, here's the fight. Vici getting picked apart. JDG barely even lose a scratch of health in this entire fight, and it just really does show why. Honestly, I know you kind of said hysterics that, oh, this can turn back and forth either way, but after that fight,
not feeling it anymore.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it either. iBoy needs to be feeling himself in a very different place where he needs to move to right now.
I mentioned Bush earlier. You just said that, Dagda. We're all. Oh.
It's been a long old day, my friend.
Yes, it has. I mean,
moving swiftly onwards before we both end up fired by the time this day ends.
Don't worry, we go out as a team. Well, every lane being pushed, and Vici have to pick one. Where do you go?
It's kind of like, oh my
God.
It's kind of like whack-a-mole right now for Vici, but unfortunately they're the moles in this situation.
No, it's triple grabbing them even with the cleanse. This feels like the final fight. Vici holding on for dear life. They will get Zoom, but now Cube coming in. Can't absorb the pressure while Yagao just diving the Nexus turrets. And that'll be all she wrote. Kind of a disappointing way to end this series, but let's be honest. JDG were the favorites running in. Vici did some damage in this series. Still showing us that they're a team to watch, while JDG show us they're a team to beat. 8-2, they'll move up to equal second. JDG may very well be back to spring champion status.
JDG will close out the Nexus. They will take the victory, but they are certainly bloody for it.
Well,